to have Charles Boston Strong Rosa back on the show now, who's going to be taking on Nathaniel Wood next at UFC London on July the 23rd. Charles, how you doing?
Great, man. Just training camp. Today's kind of easy day just to go for a bike ride, massage. So it's Sunday. So, back to work tomorrow, Monday, and back on the grind. So got about 4 weeks until the fight. So, feeling great. Weight's on point. I'm excited to get back in there.
How much do you prioritize the recovery training for you, like massages, and if you do anything else like cupping? Is that something that you do a lot?
Yeah, I do. I try to do something every day. I think I heard someone I think it was like LeBron James or something. Probably the only thing I ever learned from him is he said he tries to spend as much time as he does, training on recovery. And even though I'm not able to do that, I try to at least, get a lot of recovery. I try to do something every day. I probably get 2 or 3 massages a week. I got acupuncture Zen, which is, this guy, Tony Wilcox, who, has like a recovery bed, and he does like acupuncture. Then I got a chiropractor, Dr. Jared Hoffman, my buddy, that I go down to see him. Yeah, so every day I do something. I do chiropractor, acupuncture, massage, or I just go for like a swim of my own. I go snorkeling and just kind of like stretch my muscles or yoga. So I'm always doing something to keep my body fresh because I think that's an important aspect of it. That's why I think I'm still able to, be in top shape, doing what I'm doing now.
Yeah, I 1,000% agree. I think that's an aspect of just sports in general that I feel like is getting a lot more and more attention as the years go by. I wanted to talk about this card at UFC London. The last time that the UFC went there, I mean, the fans were just bananas. The place was crazy. I mean, the electricity was like something that I haven't seen in a while, if I'm going to be honest. How excited are you to be going to UFC London, fighting? You're going to be playing the villain role, fighting a guy that's that's where he's from.
Man, I've been there before. I did it when I fought Yair Rodriguez in Mexico City. So you know what I'm saying? Then this is what I love, and this is what I feed off of. I feed off of the energy, whether it's good energy or it's bad energy. I'm undefeated in Boston. I got the most all-time wins in Boston. 3 times sold out arenas at the TD Boston Garden. Where they have the Celtics and the Boston Bruins banners hanging from the Garden. And man, I got the most all-time wins there, and the energy there is amazing. And obviously, that's energy on my side. And then, I've been at the away games, and I've, fought in Europe before in Stockholm, Sweden, when I fought Dennis Seaver in my UFC debut. And, I earned fight of the night. First the fans were yelling and booing me, but by the end of the fight, they were chanting my name. So that's usually how it goes when I fight. Before the pandemic happened, my last 5 or 6 fights have been at the UFC Vegas Apex. And for me, that's like there's no energy there, and I don't really like it. Before that, any loss that I had in the UFC was a fight of the night, and then the rest were wins. So since then I've won one, lost one. It's been tough ups and downs since the pandemic, and fighting at the Apex. My last fight I took on 2 days' notice against TJ Brown. Just to get a new contract basically, and so I'm at the beginning of a new contract. So this is a big fight for me, and I want to get this win. And I'm happy to be back in front of the fans.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that last fight with TJ. Is that just a situation where you took the fight on short notice, so you kind of had the odds stacked against you?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if they're how you say it, but I think you could take any fighter in the UFC, and if you put them in on 2 days' notice, everybody tries to stay ready, but add in the weight cut, add in the stress of the travel, and add in everything that goes into it. They called me on a Wednesday night, and I fought on a Saturday morning. Weigh-ins on Friday. I was, I had to fly to Vegas, which is still, that's like a 7 hour flight, and get everything arranged, packed. So it's definitely not an advantage to me. You know what I'm saying? I'd love to have that TJ Brown fight back someday, get that fight back. And I fear, fair and square. He was coming off of like a 10-week training camp, and I was coming in on 2 days notice. So, when I ended up winning the 3rd round, it was a close fight back and forth. Could have went either way. He stole the decision, but that's a fight that I'm sure, even with like a week's preparation, like a week even, is at least you can kind of get ready. But 2 days, you get the phone call, the first thing you're doing is packing your bags, and you're on a plane, you're traveling, and you get there and you're already at the Apex, and you're waiting for your coaches to arrive. So, yeah, I mean, I would like to get that one back with the full camp for sure.
All right, and you mentioned just your last couple of fights and whatnot. So it's 2 in a row that you've lost now. Prior to that was Damon Jackson. Do you feel pressure, even though you have a new contract? Do you feel pressure to go in there and show out in this one?
Oh, there's pressure every fight, but I mean, you watch the Damon Jackson fight. I split him open, gave him 40 stitches on his forehead. from an elbow. And, you can say I lost the fight, but I don't feel like I lost the fight. The judges went to the scorecards. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like I said, I'm not the type of guy that makes excuses, but I know that I don't really feel there's a fight that I've ever lost. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like to beat me, you got to kill me. And if I'm still standing at the end of the fight, then I don't feel like I've ever been beaten. And I truly feel like that in the UFC. The only stoppage or loss I have my entire career is against Shane Burgos. And if you go back and watch that fight, a fight I was winning 2 rounds to none. The ref jumped in the third round after he hit me with a good shot when I'm on my feet and stops the fight. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were hurt. Fight's over. I'm like, what the hell, man? Like, ended up being fight of the night. Still got paid for it, but like that's not the point. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm going there to get these W's. So a little bit of part of it is my strategy. Sometimes I go for the kill a little bit too much. I'm going for submissions. I'll have like mount position. I'll go for an armbar. I'll do stupid things and lose positions that sometimes cost me the fight because I'm trying to go for the finish. The fans love it. I've been rewarded for it with fight of the night bonuses, but at this point, man, I want to be champion of the division, so I got to fight a little bit smarter. So that's something I've been working on this camp, and I'm excited to show what I got. But the question you said, I mean, there's pressure every single fight. You know what I'm saying? I've seen guys get cut off of wins because they're not exciting enough. So I mean, like I said, I just go out there, fight my heart out, and I hope for the best, and I prepare the best I can and do everything I can do. So at the end of the fight, when I look in the mirror, I say, hey, I did everything I can do to win this fight, and win, lose, or draw, then, I know I put maximum effort in.
And Charles, I'm not sure how old you are, but I don't feel like you're that old. Maybe late 20s, early 30s. Do you feel like your best years are still ahead of you?
No, absolutely, man. I feel my best years are ahead of me for sure. I feel, the strongest I've ever been. I just started doing conditioning at IHP, Institute for Human Performance, and I'm, the strongest I feel like I've ever been. And I really feel like, this is something that I've neglected a lot of my career is like the skill of strength. I've always been good cardio, running, always been in shape, been an athlete my whole life, but I've never really, been big into like weightlifting and stuff like that. And that's not exactly what I'm doing now, but I'm learning how to use, instead of being like a long distance runner, more, I'm trying to be more of a sprinter because that's what a UFC fight is. It's not a marathon. It's not a 2 hour fight. If I have a 2 hour fight, there's not one guy in the division I wouldn't beat. But, sometimes you're supposed to fight, 15 minutes goes by and you're like, oh, the fight's over, and it goes to the judges. So, for me, I have to change my strategy a little bit. And that's what I've done. I've got a great coach, AC Tantana, go see him 3 times a week and work on my, explosiveness, my strength training and stuff like that. And that's something I've added in this camp. So, excited to show it off in London, July 23rd.
And I see you just got the second stripe on your BJJ black belt. How much has your ground game evolved over the years?
Oh man, that's always been my silver bullet. I mean, I think that's what basically got me into the UFC. Being able to pull off submissions, and big fights, and been exciting. Always going for submissions or defending submissions, and I'm a scrambler. So jiu-jitsu is definitely something I take a lot of pride in, and have my black belt on the master Ricardo Laborio, under the tutelage of Charles McCarthy, who also has his black belt from Ricardo Laborio. And these guys are guys that are mentors to me, and guys that have helped build my skills and be able to use it at the highest level. I mean, I've pulled off a couple submissions in the UFC, got a performance of the night armbar bonus against Manny Bermudez in Boston, securing the most all-time wins in Boston. And this is jiu-jitsu has been a big part of my game. I think I do have to fight, like I said, a little bit smarter and use my wrestling a little bit more because I go a little bit trigger happy with the submissions, and it's what it is. It's something, a habit I'm trying to break. But like I said, if a fight went until the death, I think I would win every fight. It's not how it is. It's not the reality of it. So you know what I'm saying? Like if it was like the Hoist Gracie days when they would fight until someone wins. You know what I'm saying? Like I would win every time because I can withstand the storm of anybody. But sometimes when it goes to judges, it's tough.
Well, I think that's what makes you a fan favorite because of your style. You go in there and you fight.
Yeah. That's it. And that's what I do. I mean, that's something I take pride in. But at this point, my career, I've had 13, 14 UFC fights in. Like I got to start putting together some wins, so that's something that's definitely on my mind. I want to get these W's, and, I don't really feel great about compensating my, ferocity and like my excitement in the fight, like how exciting of a fighter I am to get the wins. Cause you got some guys that just like lay on people, some guys like in the Bellator and they'll just basically lay on you until the fight's over. And it's like, who wants to see that? Nobody wants to watch, 15 minutes or 25 minutes of that. So, I do understand this is the entertainment business. So, that's what I am. I'm an entertainer, I'm a fighter. And, that's, like I said, but I do got to get the wins, because you do get two paychecks when you get when you win. You only get half one if you don't get the W. So something I got to take into consideration.
For sure. Yeah, very true. Who have been your main training partners for this camp? Anybody new or different?
Yeah, for sure. I've been training over also at Sanford MMA under Henry Hooft and Greg Jones, and it's one of the best teams in the world. And I trained at American Top Team for years, for 10 years. And when the pandemic happened, I had to talk with Dan Lambert, and he just didn't really want me training at other gyms. And at that time, my little brother Rosa, he's a 12-0 amateur fighter right now. Lucas, the King of Monsters, Rosa, he's my little brother. He's like 25 years old, undefeated amateur, coming up the rankings. Hopefully you'll see him in the big show someday. But yeah, I mean, that's, I want to be able to train him too, and have him. And since he's not a pro, he can't come train. He wasn't able to come train over there yet. And it was just, something I wasn't willing to sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? So it was a mutual split between me and American Top Team. Everything was good. Like they said, if I want to come back, if I can make the commitment to only be there, then I could do that. But I'm splitting my training right now at Sanford MMA and American Combat Gym, which is a gym that my coach Charles McCarthy, that I've been loyal to since day one, my jiu-jitsu coach has, and that's my little brother trains at. So I go over there and get some extra work in, like more technical work than the hard grind. But as far as the question you asked, like guys I've been training with, every morning I go into Sanford MMA, and I'm training with guys like Darian Caldwell, Andre Harrison, Jared Gordon, and some of the Scrappy Dustin Lampros, some of the top guys in the world right now. And this is where I feel like I need to be. You know what I'm saying? So getting to work with the best guys, and I can't wait to show it off July 23rd. I already feel like I'm in great shape 4 weeks out from the fight. Weight's good, and I got everything I need, so I'm ready to go.
Yeah, nothing but killers at Sanford MMA, no doubt about that. Before we dive into this matchup with Nathaniel Wood, I just wanted to ask you real quick, have you added any new dishes or recipes to your chef work? Anything new that, maybe you haven't been making in the past?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I got my buddy, there's a kid that you probably haven't heard of him, but I'm sure that you will at some point. Daniel Marcos, he's from Peru. He's 12-0, bantamweight from Peru. He's pretty much, he's right on the brink of getting signed to the UFC, but you know how it is with them. They just, but he's 12-0 from Peru, and he's my roommate right now. So he's living in my house in Boca Raton, Florida, from Peru. He's here for only a year visa. And one of the things that he's, I mean, I'm the one that cooks, so I show him how to make a lot of stuff. I'm always making like, steaks, all different dishes, like fish dishes. We live right on the ocean in Florida, so we get some of the freshest fish and shrimp and things like that. But one thing that he made me that I've added to the list that we do it once a week is we make fresh ceviche Peruvian style. So like I always thought like, oh my God, there's no way it's going to be like any better than any normal ceviche, but it's literally like, it must be his family homemade recipe from Peru. Showed me how to make it, and it's on point. So that's something, and I can still indulge in, because it's just basically fresh fish, lime juice, garlic, and a couple other secret ingredients, and it's healthy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no doubt. Do you like salmon in particular, smoked salmon?
Yeah, I like smoked salmon. I mean, I like pretty much everything. There's not really anything that I don't eat. Sometimes if I eat salmon like too much, I get kind of sick of it, but I do like smoked salmon. So that's one thing I want to learn how to do too, is I'm not really great at yet, is smoking fishes and dishes. I did it when I worked at the restaurant at Cut 432. Like I worked there for 10 years, and we used to have to smoke salmon outside. So it's a little bit of a process. So like for me, it's like I like making quick dishes. Like I don't like, waiting all day to eat, you know what I'm saying? So, but that's why, do you have any experience with that or not?
Well, yeah, I was just going to mention to you, my wife's father has a business. It's called Mainly Smoked Salmon, and it's hands down the best in the area. He has these salmon sticks and the salmon dip that's like a cream cheese base that you probably aren't going to want to eat during camp. But the salmon sticks are out of this world good. I'll definitely send you some. We talk after this or whatever.
Oh, that would be great, man. I'd definitely like to try it out. Where's it based out of?
It's in Perry, Maine, which is on the ocean right near Eastport. So it's the middle of nowhere, but it's.
Oh no, I actually kind of know what it is. My dad has land and property up in Searsport, Maine, so it's right up there too. So that's pretty cool. No, it's nice area. So I definitely love to check it out, man, for sure.
We'll do. Well, I'll have to send you some. We'll make that happen. Let's talk about Nathaniel Wood. He's 17-5. He hasn't fought since 2020, so you know he's going to be coming in there probably with a lot of pent up aggression because he probably wanted to fight sooner than 2020. How do you like this matchup? I mean, he's a pretty skilled, well rounded fighter. How do you like it for yourself?
No, I love it, man. You know, a lot of the last guys I'm going against, you know, are world class wrestlers. You know what I'm saying? Like, good, you know, Justin James, Damon Jackson. These guys are, you know, good wrestlers, and they fight a boring pace fight. If you go back and watch any of my fights, like whenever you ever see me in a fight with a guy that's willing to stand with me, fight with me, or really fight with me, I should say, you know, not just try to lay on me. When have you ever seen a bad fight? You know what I'm saying? So you look at like Rodriguez, Shane Burgos, Dennis Seaver, the guys I've all had fight of the night with. These guys are willing to fight me. You know, they're real warriors. So I look at Nathaniel Wood like that. I think he's a tough kid, but he's also coming up a weight class. You know, I mean, you can say, oh yeah, I'm putting on weight or whatever, but you know, he's 5'6". He's much smaller, and you know, he's coming up with the, you know, moving up weight class, and he's coming with the big boys, or at least the bigger boys. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely gonna be, he's gonna see why there's weight classes in fighting. You know what I'm saying? So you know, I'm excited to get in there, and you know, I know he's coming off of a couple hand injuries, so you know, I mean, hopefully he makes it to the fight and he's recovered from it. But either way, man, I'm excited to get back in there, and it really wouldn't matter who it's against. But you know, Nathaniel Wood's going to be the unlucky, unfortunate victim on July 23rd.
So theoretically, I guess if you look at it on paper, you being the heavier, bigger guy would have the strength advantage. Him coming up a weight class, some people would say, or they would imagine that he might have the speed advantage. Is that something that you believe is accurate, or do you feel like you're still going to have the speed advantage in this fight?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, you know, that's the thing, is that the guys, yeah, I mean, he has good footwork. He's fast. You know what I'm saying? He moves around a lot, but you know, it's like, I mean, if he wants to try to just point fight me the whole time, I mean, he can go ahead and try it. But you know, eventually, I'm going to get my hands on him and get a hold of him, and he's going to feel my power, and he's going to get my kicks. I mean, you can only do that for so long. You know what I'm saying? And that's something, like I said, I've been working on my explosiveness and things like that. So, you know, I'm excited what he's going to bring. I mean, I'm prepared for all of it. I've sparred tons with, you know, like I said, my roommate Daniel Marcos is a 135er from Peru, and he's kid's fast as lightning. You know what I'm saying? So these guys, I also trained with Randy Costa over at American Combat Gym. He's one of the top, I think, the best, quickest stand-up guys in the division. I mean, I don't know if you're familiar with watching him, but he's a guy that I get to get some work into. And man, these are some of the top guys in the world that I put in. I honestly, I've seen everything. After training at American Top Team, Sanford, American Combat Gym. I've even trained over at Alpha Male in California before. I've trained with everybody, almost on a lot of more than half the guys in the roster at some point. And there's nothing I haven't seen. There's nothing that I haven't been able to put up with. There's never been a time that I'm like, oh, this guy's just too fast. Like it doesn't exist. You know, there is guys that are a little bigger and stronger at times. You know, if you go, you know, I'm putting around like George Masvidal or Dustin Poirier, and they're a weight class up, a little bit, you know, stronger, but so you got to use your speed and you got to adjust accordingly. So I'm sure that's what he's planning on. He's probably planning on adjusting the speed, trying to be fast. But you know, I mean, I don't see as much power in his hands. So you haven't really seen many people hurt me in fights. So you know, if we'll see what kind of power he brings into the fight.
Final question for me. What's your prediction? How does it end?
Oh man, I think I'm gonna submit him in the second round. I think if he's able to withstand the storm in the first round, if he's able to take the punches and the shots, take him down and ground and pound, and if he keeps it on the feet, man, I got a couple tricks on my sleeve. So we're gonna see what he walks into. But I don't want to give out too much. But absolutely, the thing I've been working on. I got you know, 6-time Muay Thai champion Gregory Choplin in my corner from France, and he's one of the top Muay Thai coaches in the planet. And you know, I think, you know, he's really added a lot to my game, you know, elbows, knees, kicks, you know, and I think he's just, it's something really dynamic that you're going to see. So I'm excited to add that in also. And then I also have my coach, you know, one of my wrestling coaches, Matt Waggy, who's, you know, incredible wrestling coach. He trained over at Alpha Male for years, and you know, with Chad Mendez, Lance Palmer, some of the top guys in Clay Guida in the world, and Uriah Faber, and he has, you know, a lot of their tricks too. So if I'm able to combine all the best, man, that's hopefully, you know, that's how you get the best.
Awesome, man. Great talking to you again. It's been far too long. We'll have to do this again soon. Once again, Charles Rosa meets Nathaniel Wood July the 23rd at UFC London. Before I do let you go, I want to give you the floor. Please tell people where they can follow you on social media. And if you have anyone to thank, the floor is yours.
No, for sure, man. I want to get, you know, if everyone wants to find me, you catch me on Instagram. I'm always cooking up fresh meals and, putting those on my IG. So that's Charles Rosa MMA. You guys can find me there, Twitter, Facebook, wherever you're at. Yeah, for sure. I definitely want to give a shout out, to Hoffman's Chiropractor, IHP, Institute for Human Performance, Acupuncture Zen, all these people that help keep me healthy and ready for the fight. And thank you so much. So everybody tune in July 23rd, UFC London, and watch me knock out Nathaniel Wood.